How are you doing, great people? This is C.J Atemo. It's Wisdom Moments on K24, and I hope that you are ready for today's dose of wisdom. We keep on doing this Monday to Friday, and then I do post this on YouTube as well. So if you haven't gone to my YouTube channel, kindly visit and like, share, watch the videos, like them, share them, comment on them, leave your comments there. And the best thing for you to do is to subscribe and set notifications as well, so that every time the videos go up, you will get them. Well, I started talking about conflict in the workplace. Today I want to talk about how conflicts develop. I want to talk about how conflicts develop. And I did say that, you see, whether you're talking about from a point of nations or you're talking about communities, there are certain times when there will be conflict in certain areas and regions of communities. It is when two people or two groups of people go against each other. They will always have bones of contention. They will always have reasons to do so, but it generally is when two or more people, two or more groups go against each other. In the workplace and the workspace, that's very dangerous because it compromises productivity. For people to function and to bring out the best of them, you have to create the kind of environment that allows them to thrive. You need people to be creative, to be innovative. You need them to feel at home. You need them to settle. They need to have a sense of longevity on the job. They need to have a sense of security for them to give their all in that place. When there are conflicts over and over, people begin to feel insecure, just like if the country was at war. Nobody would want to invest because they'd be asking themselves, how will people even do business? Is it even viable for them to put their money and try to put up things? What if there's damage? What if their businesses become collateral damage to the war? What if people get into looting? And will people even have the settlement of mind to be going in to shop and to trade with them? It becomes very difficult for people to do business in the seasons of conflict unless somebody is selling firearms. The same thing happens in the workplace and the workspace, that when there's so much conflict, the environment is not conducive for people to work. But today, I want us to look at how do conflicts develop. I'll just give just a few of the things that cause conflict to come. One is personality clashes. Personality clashes. It is one of the most undermined things, but it has great impact because each and every one of us has personality. We know that personality is developed. It is a whole gathering of character shaped by both nurture and nature, and how somebody then begins to behave towards other people and how they begin to, break down information that comes to them, how they use information, how they look at everything that comes around them, and how they respond to that. So that some people will be very abrasive, some people will be very quiet, some people will be nearly extroverted, some people maybe seem to be introverted. Whatever the case may be, personalities have a way of bringing conflict, especially when dominant personalities come against each other. When you have two people who have dominant personalities, each one of them wants to take charge of the space, then you most definitely will begin to have conflicts. It could just be because, you see, somebody felt they were supposed to have done something, or they should have been in a particular position, or they should have had their way, or they voiced their opinion and somebody else also voiced their opinion. And whenever people have strong personalities, they also have very strong opinions. They become very opinionated. In doing that, sometimes they do not realize that they may be undermining other people's opinions. They can throw you off with a statement while you are while you are diplomatic in how you say things. Somebody with a very strong and dominant personality may say something that makes you look like you don't know what you're doing or compromises you. And sometimes they don't even think twice about what they have said, but they would have said something that would have hurt you, something that would have hurt you, broken you, something that would have compromised you, especially when this is done in front of everybody else. And then you begin to feel a sense of resentment towards these people. It is very possible and very easy for personalities to create conflict. There's certain times when you cannot even tell what the issue is. You just know that two people are bringing their personality into the space, which then brings us to the number two. The number two comes from this particular number one, and that is power play. Power play. There's a conflict that can come from power play. Now, it's not always based on personalities, but personalities can bring the power play. Sometimes even people who seem to have a quiet personality, even people who don't really have a dominant personality, will have their motives. When we talk about a power play, we are talking about how people position themselves in decision making in the business or the company. It's how they position themselves in the decision making of the company. It's how they want to have influence. And somebody could have what would seem like a weak personality, but they still want to have influence or make decisions over there. So when people begin to fight for the space of who makes certain decisions and who will influence what, then the power play will raise conflict. There are people who pull the strings from behind the scene. They're not dominant. They pull the strings from behind the scenes. They want certain positions. And sometimes they don't even want the position. Sometimes they want their person to have the position. And they will do all kinds of things to undermine other people just to make sure that a particular kind of people will be sitting in the positions of influence. This is where then you begin to have the groupings as well. Probably sometimes you have an older group having issues with a newer group. You have a new CEO or manager, or you have a new supervisor who probably did not rise from within the ranks in there. And then you find somebody else who's probably an old timer in there. They're not even trying to be the CEO, but they feel that one person from among them should have been chosen or selected. And then they just begin to undermine these people. The power play can come even from the lowest. It could come from the person who mans the gate to the people who just do clerical duties, where they begin to frustrate efforts. They will not bring files, or they will not give passwords, they will not give information. And all that they're trying to do is to force somebody out. They want somebody to fail and to get out of a particular place or position. They want it to be seen that the new manager was not good, did not do a good job. So this is not even about personalities, but personalities can lead us to the place of power play. The third reason why there could be conflict in the workplace would be poor communication. When communication is not effective, it is not done well, it is not enough, and it is not effective, there's poor communication, there's breakdown in communication, it creates and breeds a lot of misunderstanding, and that can cause so much conflict because sometimes people do not know what other people intended to do, the meaning of words that were used, why mails were sent around, why certain meetings were held, why somebody said what they said, or why they didn't say what they didn't say. And in all that confusion, every time there is lack of information, people begin to speculate, and the speculation can lead to rumors, and the rumors then become a source of conflict, because then you begin to deal with issues of he said, she said, they said, they didn't say. And so poor communication can be a source of conflict. It could be the tone of communication. It could be the mode of communication. It could be the time of communication. It could be how much has been communicated, or to whom the communication has been done. That can easily become a source of conflict at the workplace. Well, that's all the time that I've had for today. I'll probably put in a little bit more, 2 or 3 tomorrow, but that's all the time that we've had for today as we talk about how conflicts develop in the workplace. And this week we are dealing with conflicts in the workplace. Hoping that you're benefiting, and even if it's not in the workplace, wherever you are, this is still beneficial to you, whether in families or different spaces as well, in your friendships, your teams, wherever you are. The principles are applicable. Keep it right here tomorrow one more time. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, C.J Atemo, and follow C.J Atemo on all social media platforms. See you.